make of the chemistry between Trump and Jens Stoltenberg, and does that tell us anything about, say, the relationship between this White House and NATO, which at one point people feared could be very contentious?
Right, Joe, it seemed to be a warm chemistry between President Trump and Mr. Stoltenberg. It was certainly a contrast to the sort of rhetoric we heard from the president while he was a candidate on the campaign trail. A few notable things he said. I'm going to read some quotes here. He argued earlier on that NATO is obsolete. Today he said, "I said it was obsolete. It's no longer obsolete," unquote. He said he was honored to have Mr. Stoltenberg there to reaffirm the commitment of the United States to NATO. That is a very important development and should assuage some fears of member countries of NATO that the United States was not fully committed to it. The president did point out, as he has before, that he would like other countries to pay a larger share. He mentioned the 2014 pact in which countries were supposed to aim to spend 2% of their GDP on it. Mr. Stoltenberg said that since then, European countries have increased defense spending by an unusual amount. They intend to continue doing that. So there were some points of disagreement, there were some points of tension, but with this big cloud named Russia hanging over both of them, and sort of Russia's alliance with Syria in the wake of the chemical weapons attack, that's been a huge area of tension between the United States and Russia that I think has convinced President Trump that he needs to be very much in favor and committed to NATO.
So, Sahil, it's Julie here. So now what? Do the two have a longer visit? Do they continue talking? When do we find out if NATO nations actually are going to honor the agreement that the two were talking about?
They do intend to continue talking. I think the president said that he will be going to Brussels to continue the conversation regarding the next steps with NATO. We know that the president and Mr. Stoltenberg talked about areas of cooperation in Iraq between the United States and member countries to NATO, as well as Afghanistan. We don't know precisely what the United States' next policy is going to be in Syria. That is an open question now. It depends on how Assad responds. It depends on what the Russian response is, and it depends on how far President Trump decides to go here. So that's another big question for NATO, because NATO, of course, has become one of the big bulwarks against Russian aggression with regard to its neighbors.